In part 3 of our series on Nazis and the occult, we take a brief look at the rise of Adolf Hitler. We'll also learn about the Tula Society and how some very powerful people in that secret society believed Hitler to be the Messiah. Then we're going to learn about Heinrich Himmler, including his views on the Aryan race, his belief in occultism, and the atrocities he oversaw during the Holocaust. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. Never forget, never again. This is Necronomipod.
All right, we keep rolling right along right here. Part 3 already. This is where we're going to start to get into the meat of it all, though, right?
Yeah.
This and next week.
One word for it, yeah.
Lunacy next week.
Yeah, it feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like we're talking about all this nerdy, mystical nonsense, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, now things are getting very serious.
Shit took a turn.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would do a somber opening today. I don't know. Not a joke about.
Yeah.
At all.
All right, well, let's dive on in.
Where we left off on part 2, we covered Jörg Lanz von Liebenfels and his brand of Ariosophy, which was the wisdom concerning Aryans.
Oh, yeah. Very wise.
We also talked about Guido von List and his brand of Ariosophy, both pulled from Madame Blavatsky, various esoteric groups, runes, mythology, all the stuff that we've been talking about the past couple weeks. However, Guido von List was more focused on the political side of things, while Lanz was all in on the paranormal and mystical aspects of what we've been talking about. Remember, we said that he took over an abandoned castle, hung a swastika out front, and was doing all kind of rituals and seances to connect with ancient Aryans and all that kind of stuff. The one thing that those two had in common was extreme anti-Semitism. It was the Jews who corrupted the lineage of the Atlanteans to the Aryans. Lanz put out a monthly magazine with all this crazy, hateful rhetoric called Ostara, and young Adolf Hitler was a big fan of reading Ostara, like in his late teens.
He wasn't reading Pro Wrestling Weekly like you guys in your late teens?
No.
I never got into the Pro Wrestling Weekly or the Pro Wrestling Illustrateds. Wonder what would have happened if he had. History would have been changed forever.
Might have been.
He would have been.
He might have
the
been a
greatest
famous
manager of all time.
That's right.
His gift for gab.
All that yelling.
Yeah.
He could be a heel manager.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's certainly not going to be a babyface.
Did we address last week why there's a famous German Aryan named Guido?
No.
I'm giving you the meat sauce.
Doesn't seem like it fits.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
All his German names, and that's Guido.
Guido.
It always smells like pasta sauce.
This is Hans and Heinrich and Hans. Guido. Okay.
April 20th, 1889, Adolf Hitler was born in Austria, Hungary.
Why is the very solemn holiday of 420 also Hitler's birthday? Why is weed holiday on 420? Why'd they pick that day?
It's also when Columbine happened. It's also when Waco happened.
No.
I think Oklahoma City bombing was right around then.
You kind of have to smoke weed, right?
To
Get through all that? Sure. Fuck.
I remember, I think it was during like that Waco series. Maybe it was then. There was some episode we did where we talked about how people were preparing for something to happen in that week of April because they're like, this is when everything else happens. I can't remember if it was one of those domestic terrorist episodes, though.
Well, Waco was 420, right? And then McVeigh did 420 to commemorate Waco. And then the Columbine guys did 420 to commemorate Hitler.
And
right?
but there was
Is that how it all
something
stretched together
that we were talking about where like people were on high alert because of that week. But I can't remember if it was from that show, one of those, or if it was something completely different.
It sounds right.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We'll
what
take
it
your
was.
word for it.
Well, when I give a half statement like that, you can't accuse me of being wrong.
It's vague enough that we go, yeah, he was right. Yeah. He was spot on.
If you say something vague enough, they can't call you out on
That's
it because
exactly
you just
right.
said something very vague. Who the fuck knows what it means?
Depends what your definition of 420 is, Mike. Is that the Gregorian, Julian calendar? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
We haven't had Mr. President in here in a while. Of course he's here for Hitler.
1907 to 1908, Hitler applied twice to the Academy of Fine Arts, Vienna, but was rejected both times. These years start the beginning of a period of struggles for him in Vienna. It's also around this time that Hitler started reading Ostara, which is believed to have significantly influenced his ideology, specifically the anti-Semitism. We'll talk about it later, but he doesn't really get into the occult stuff as much. There are other factors that played into his ideology. For example, there was a mayor of Austria at the time that was spewing anti-Semitism nonstop. But we're just going to focus on the occult aspects because he didn't really buy into the magical stuff. It's all Himmler. We're going to talk about later.
Well, and honestly, there's anti-Semitic stuff everywhere at this time, all over the place.
Yeah, it's not hard to find somebody talking like that.
Sure. And there always was, going back thousands of years. Or ever since they killed Jesus, you know.
Mel Gibson will tell you all about it.
He sure will. He sure will. That motherfucker made $1 billion on that movie. Self-financed. He owned all of that.
I always just think about the video from when he got pulled over. Remember they had the recording of him and he's sloshed and just saying all kinds of hateful stuff?
It was a woman cop, right? He's like sugar tits and
think
all kinds of
so.
shit like that.
I think he used
Jews,
every...
sugar tits. It's all the Jews. Jews in Hollywood, sugar tits.
That's got to be a record for slurs used in one arrest.
I hope that was him with the sugar tits. I might be conflating some other drunk asshole in Hollywood getting pulled over by a female officer, but I think it was the same one. If I'm not, hopefully that's vague enough that people can't call me on the carpet about it.
I don't know. That wasn't very vague.
That's true. It
It was kind of specific.
It might have been straight up slander. You're not right.
Allegedly.
Keep in mind, behind the scenes of what we're going to be talking about throughout this next part, Hitler enlisted in the Bavarian army at the outbreak of World War I. He served primarily on the Western Front and would end up being decorated for bravery. So that's going on behind the scenes of this stuff. In 1912, Theodor Fritsch, along with several influential German occult figures like Philip Stoff, who's a key figure in Guido von List's society, and Hermann Pohl, who is considered to be a master of runes, established the German Orden in Berlin. This secret society was formed in direct retaliation to a perceived threat from Jews. They believed the Jews had secret societies that met with the sole purpose of destroying the Aryan race, so they needed to combat that with their own secret society stuff. Hermann Pohl was more into the mysticism and paranormal aspects of occult nationalism, so he split away from Theodor Fritsch and formed his own version of that group. That same year, Rudolf von Sabbatendorf, a very wealthy man, joined. Sabbatendorf was a Freemason who practiced Sufism, which is Islamic mysticism and astrology. He was also a big fan of Guido von List and Lanz von Liebenfeld's teachings. He believed in a shared Aryan origin between Islamic and Germanic mystical traditions, and he was drawn to Pohl's runic teachings because he's the master of runes.
Of course.
Our master counts up to 3 already today.
How long does it take to master the runes? Is that a lifetime achievement, or
All these
do in an
guys seem to
afternoon
do
on
it.
YouTube? Or
Sounds like it was a quick online class where they're handing these things out.
Guido von List wrote his own. He interpreted them in his own way and wrote new runes. So they're all masters.
I guess a lot of masters we've talked about in this series.
We can just write our own and call ourselves masters.
That seems like the way to go.
I think
Cheapest option. Yeah,
Just
no tuition.
right.
This is the first rune of our series. It translates roughly to
Again, vague. Very vague.
very vague, very vague, and it allows you to.
I think it literally says in our writing, yada, yada, yada.
So a year later, Sabbatendorf started the Tula Society. The Tula Society was all in on the paranormal, holding seances to speak with Aryan gods. And we'll talk about in part 4, maybe some aliens in there. The word Tula in itself is a path to follow from relatively innocent beginnings to Nazism. Tula first showed up in Greek explorer Pytheas' account around 300 BC. Pytheas described Tula as his lost work on the ocean, believed that it was the northernmost part of the known world at that time.
Oh, Mike, I call my vagina my Tula. You never come over and visit. Put your mula in my Tula.
Wonder why she calls it a Tula.
Why not?
We don't speak to her directly. These are just voicemails she leaves us.
It's the
I'm not going to actually speak to her.
It's a pet name someone gave me. Tula. I really love to lick your Tula, Mrs. Hildebrandt.
All the boys are saying. Not this one.
Historians and scholars have speculated that Tula could have been Iceland, Norway, or the Shetland Islands.
Or my pussy.
But in European folklore, Tula transcended being a physical place and was talked about as a magical utopia kind of place. Then Sabbatendorf got a hold of the idea and said that because Tula is at the most northern spot on Earth, that means that they must have been talking about what used to be Hyperborea, and we being Aryans evolved from them, so Tula is now a mystical land that belongs to the Aryan gods.
So that means North Pole, like that hole to get in Hollow Earth? Mm-hmm. It's not as good as my hole.
We'll take your word for it.
My hole's a lot tighter than Hollow Earth, Mike. Well,
The anti-Semitism we've talked about so far is horrific and other hateful things. But up until this point in the series, we've really been talking about a bunch of nerds LARPing Germanic folklore. And now it gets a lot darker because the Tula Society attracted some very dangerous people. There's debate as to how many high-ranking Nazis were members of the Tula Society, or who attended 1 or 2 meetings but never joined, or they just knew someone in the Tula Society but didn't really get involved. Dietrich Eckart is the most important on the list because he was Hitler's mentor. Based on everything that I've read, Eckart wasn't a member, but he might have attended 1 or 2 meetings.
1 or 2.
Yeah, just kind of hung out in the back.
Sure.
Just dipping his toes in the water. Oh, I'm not
That's right.
really a
Yeah,
member.
yeah. I'm just going to have donuts and coffee in the back, and we'll see what all this Tula stuff's about.
All this talking to Aryan gods and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not ready to commit just yet. Have a 1-day visitor pass, please.
Anton Drexler was a founding member of the German Workers' Party, which later evolved into the Nazi Party. He's probably equally as important in creating Hitler as Eckart was. And again, this one is speculation as to how involved he was in the Tula Society. Karl Harrer, a journalist and confirmed member of the Tula Society, he was also involved in the foundation of the German Workers' Party directly alongside Anton Drexler. Hans Frank, who was a lawyer that later became Hitler's personal legal advisor and the governor general of occupied Poland during World War II, he was a confirmed member.
He's a swell guy, I'm sure.
How bad do you have to be at your job if you're Hitler's legal advisor? Did he ever give an opinion on anything?
Yeah, you should be good with that plan. No, you're not going to face any backlash at all. You're good. You just roll into Poland and Czechoslovakia. No one's going to say anything. You'll be fine. You're good. All good to go, Adolf.
Where did he get that law degree? Probably online with the masters.
Rudolf Hess is probably the biggest one that gets brought up a lot. He was Hitler's deputy Führer, Some historians say absolutely not. The book that I read by Nicholas Goodrick Clark says yes, that Rudolf Hess was a member. I'm not sure, but I think it's safe to say that he was at least aware of the Tula Society, that it existed.
He's an interesting guy because he took himself out of the game early in like 1941 and took it upon himself to fly to Scotland to try to, talk the UK into leaving the war. And they're like, we're going to keep you now. And that was the end of his involvement. I always found that story odd.
They're like, hey, why we have you here?
Yeah. Stick around a while, Rudolph.
Let us show you this room.
No more strudel for you, Rudy. You're going to stay here for a bit.
While all this Tula secret society stuff was going on, in November of 1918, World War I ended, and Hitler was in a military hospital recovering from a mustard gas attack that had temporarily blinded him.
What do you prefer, ketchup or mustard gas? Which one?
I'm going to go with the ketchup.
Really?
Gas.
I like the mustard gas a little better.
You got a relish gas?
I never had that.
one.
In 1919, Hitler was appointed as an intelligence agent for the German armed forces. His duties included infiltrating and reporting on political parties. In September of 1919, Hitler attended a German Workers' Party meeting. There's some people that say it was really a Tula Society meeting, but pretty much all historians say that it was a German Workers' Party meeting. Hitler was speaking at this meeting, and Eckhart was immediately captivated by him. And how it's told is that he knew right then that Hitler was going to be the face of all these ideas. The Tula Society always talked about a German Messiah that was coming to restore Germany's glory following the World War I defeat. Eckhart started believing that Hitler was this Messiah, like, holy shit, maybe there is something to the Tula Society. Like, just believed it an ounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, he is the Messiah, but like, shit, maybe he really is the Messiah.
Like, oh, fuck, they got it right. And there he is.
Well, it couldn't have been an idea for that long. They just lost the war a year ago. So whoever dreamed up this German Messiah to avenge the war loss,
There he is.
fairly
Boom.
new idea.
Right on cue.
Yeah. His charismatic speaker, I guess, if you can get past that awful fucking language that you have to listen to.
Talking about Hitler?
Yeah.
I was just watching The Rum Diary the other day, the movie. I had seen it before, but I really like it. I like Hunter Thompson. One, I forgot how fucking hot Amber Heard is in that movie. I don't know if you'd seen it. She's probably still hot, but, the whole pooping in bed things. Maybe I'll pass. But two, have you guys seen the movie?
The Rum Diaries? I don't think I ever have.
Anyways, there's a guy in it who they're in Puerto Rico, but there's a guy in it who's just kind of like off the rails and just into all kinds of drugs and booze and stuff. But he keeps a record collection, and one of it is just Hitler speeches. And there's one scene he's like Johnny Depp's roommate, and there's one scene where Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are just about to like get it on in like his room for the first time, and you just hear Hitler start blasting because the guy put the record on. Anyways, it's lovely language.
Yeah. I was going to pull sound clips. I'm like, I'm not playing that fucking asshole on this show. So I did not. Fuck that guy.
Should have got a sound clip of like where I've seen online of like 3 or 4 people saying a different word in their languages, and it always sounds so beautiful. Yeah. And then German's just like, hi.
Those are funny.
They're like, rainbow.
Yes.
There's a whole ton of history that we're skipping over. But by 1925, the Nazi Party had been formed and swallowed up all of these secret societies. And on January 30th, 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, marking the beginning of the Nazi regime.
Good times ahead. Good times.
And that's kind of it for Hitler at this point in the occultism stuff. Later on, next week, we'll tell you why that's all bullshit. And, this was aliens were behind this. And the spear of Hitler was looking for the spear of destiny and things like that.
Gotcha. Well, now that makes sense.
But for right now, he was done with all this stuff. That's as far as it went for him.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, he had a continent to take over. He didn't have time for that tomfoolery.
It's true.
Starting a 1,000-year Reich. Gotta get to work.
Historically speaking, there's no definitive proof that Hitler believed in any of the occultism, mythology, mysticism, any of the Aryan god stuff. He read Ostara when he was younger, but that's as far as that line of thinking went. By the end of Hitler's reign, he had stopped the publication of Ostara and banned any and all public occult practices. No astrology, no mediums or seances. By the end, there was only one person that was allowed to dabble in the occult, and that was Heinrich Himmler. And I bet you, I know for a fact that Georg Lanz von Liebenfeld, he tried to claim, like, Hitler ripped me off for all my ideas. And was almost like this guy, like, at first, Lanz loved Hitler when Hitler first took power and was like, this is great. And then when Hitler banned occultism stuff, he was like, oh, this guy just fucking ripped off all my ideas. And
Wonder how long did Lanz live? Do we know? Like, do you think when like the world war ended, if he was still alive, he was like, "Whew, I'm glad that wasn't me."
It could have been me in that bunker.
I'm glad he took my ideas. Dodged a bullet on that one.
It's like Bradley Cooper in The Hangover. We fucked up.
if it's true that, you know, let's say that Dietrich Eckart really was like a real big occult guy and Anton Drexler and stuff. I know Dietrich Eckart died before the war ended and stuff, but I wonder if a lot of those guys were like, oh, fuck, this guy got too big for himself. You know, like outgrew himself. Now he's just stopping everything, even us, the people that...
Sure. Because it was just a means to an end for him.
Right.
They were true believers in some of this stuff. Backstabbing Hitler, that motherfucker. Took away all the fun stuff out of the whole thing. What a prick. What a humorless prick that Hitler was.
Always that one guy that just takes it too far.
They're having fun. They're drinking beer in beer halls in Munich. They're talking about occult stuff. And all of a sudden, it's not fun anymore.
He ruins it and then bans them from being able to do their fun.
Heinrich Himmler was born in Munich on October 7th, 1900. He was from a traditional middle-class Catholic family. He was raised to embrace the German lore that we've been talking about, a lot about the love of nature and old traditions. When Himmler went to college, he studied agricultural science, and part of that program involved him working on a farm in a small town of Friedelfing. Himmler fully embraced the Volkisch movements. Remember, we said that those were movements of wanting to return things back to simpler times.
Simpler times. Remember them well.
Nostalgia is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Did we have this conversation?
I think so. It's not
Like,
really.
it really wasn't that great back
No,
then.
it wasn't. Not for everyone else. But
You're just longing to be out of the situation you're currently in, I guess.
yeah.
While living in this small rural town, Himmler deeply embraced these ideas, especially the blood and soil aspects of Volkisch thought, that communities are organic bodies like plants and people grow from the soil and they belong to the land.
That chant's still going around, right? Weren't those a-holes in Charlottesville a couple years ago chanting blood and soil?
Probably.
Jews will not replace us, blood and soil.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
Dave, you said last week how sweet Berlin was in the 1920s. And
I did say that.
the old videos, it looked super cool back then. But Himmler and these Volkisch and esoteric groups, they hated it. They thought that that was everything that Germany shouldn't be.
Jerks.
Himmler perceived cities as kind of hotbeds for moral decay.
I bet you did, nerd.
Where the blending of different genders, social classes, and races undermined that traditional German value that he was brought up to love. He attributed the development of cities primarily to the influence of capitalism, which Volkisch associated with the Jewish community. Historically, Jews in Europe weren't allowed to own land, leading them to settle in cities and open up businesses. This resulted in Jews owning around 80% of Germany's department stores. And for Himmler, the Jewish community and their capitalism symbolized everything that was wrong with Germany. It's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, you take away land from me, okay, I'm going to move to the city and start my business there. Oh, wait, I can't do that either.
I just wanted you to die, not to flourish in the cities. asshole.
Himmler had to stop his studies in agriculture because his family couldn't afford it anymore. In 1922, he ended up working as a clerk in a fertilizer company. He wasn't doing well financially, wasn't very strong or good looking. He was pretty unhappy. His friends were mainly his parents and their friends.
That sounds fun.
He definitely doesn't fit that image of the strong Aryan, like ideal man.
No, he does not.
Yeah.
None of these assholes do, for the most part.
I like how in those sentences, Ian did everything except call this guy a virgin. Let's call it like it is.
I can't think of a single, like one of the high-ranking guys that really fits that Aryan God thing that they talked about.
Yeah. None of them.
But yet they have those doctors out there like checking everybody.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Measuring like where your eyes are on your head.
That's right. That's right.
Fucking crazy.
But things started to change for Himmler when he found out about a new political party in Munich, the Nazi Party. This party was against Jewish influence in business and wanted to bring back all those old German values that Himmler loved. He was super excited and joined their paramilitary group known as the Brown Shirts. The Brown Shirts were like really like rough and tough type dudes that liked going into battle. And Himmler was the farthest thing from that. Like he wasn't even remotely close to that. So he's just kind of playing pretend. Joining the Brown Shirts was a way for him to feel stronger and more important than he really was. But he was smart and he was really committed. This got him noticed and he moved up to Hitler's special protection team, the SS. At first, the SS was just a small part of the Brown Shirts, but when Himmler became the leader in 1929, he wanted to take the SS to much bigger heights. At the time, the SS was pretty small. There was only about 300 officers. The Brown Shirts had about 3 million members.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, it is.
That is a big paramilitary group there.
Yeah, that's Hitler's private army. That's not the German army.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about that.
In the Brown Shirts, it like became a thing of its own, and they had their own political hierarchy within.
Sure, when it's that big, I feel like that's just natural. It's going to happen.
I mean, 3 million people, that's a lot of fucking people.
Hell yeah.
To govern. The Brown Shirts were very loyal to their leader, Ernest Röhm, who was becoming a really strong figure in the Nazi Party, and he was seen as a direct competitor to Hitler. Röhm was different from what Hitler and Himmler represented. He was overweight, and it was kind of like a secret, but not a secret, that he was a homosexual.
A fat gay man doesn't
Yes.
seem like the ideal Nazi
He was not
prototype.
Aryan.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Himmler still has never seen a vagina.
Hitler and Himmler thought that the Brown Shirts and Röhm were a problem that needed to be removed. So they invited Röhm and the top Brown Shirt officials to a meeting to discuss war efforts and things like that. On June 30th, 1934, in the early morning, while the Brown Shirt leaders were still asleep, Himmler's SS attacked their hotel. They shot some of the Brown Shirt leaders right there, and a lot of them, including Röhm, were killed later. This event was known as the Night of the Long Knives, and this was Hitler just pretty much eliminating any challenges that was left within his party and kind of sending a message to anyone else that maybe had been thinking about stepping out of line. And this night was when Himmler really proved himself to Hitler, showing just complete loyalty, didn't question this at all, just went ahead and was like, just ordered his guys to do it.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea, Adolf. I'll take care of that for you.
Because of this, Hitler let Himmler develop the SS into something much larger and more powerful. The SS started to lead Nazi intelligence and formed a new military branch, which it gets these different names as it gets bigger, but the final version is the Waffen-SS. Himmler had big plans for the SS, aiming to make it the most powerful military force in the world. To achieve this, he was very selective about who could join, focusing on people with what he considers pure German heritage. Himmler used methods that he learned in college, similar to plant and animal breeding, to pick the best candidates for the SS. To be in the SS, you had to meet strict racial criteria, including family background. Himmler preferred members who looked a certain way, typically tall, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He had a special vision for the SS, more than just the military force. It was like the epitome of the Nazi idea of a master Aryan race.
It's absurd.
Rigorous testing, like those old videos showing doctors, like I said before, measuring their eyes, like how far apart they are.
I am so sorry, but your penis is not big enough to join the SS. You are rejected.
They just got the same ruler. They go from your forehead down to your cock.
It's so crazy how this story, it goes from nerd LARPing to, fuck, there's like a 3 million strong army, and this nerd has control of all of it.
It's a lesson that sometimes you need to nip things in the bud before they get out of control, and something that might seem benign and a joke might evolve into, something like this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a new game show, though, that we can do, like Hitler or Himmler. Like, we can play a game. Was that Hitler or was that Himmler? Might be good.
I feel like the crueler or worse it is, it's just going to be Himmler, right?
I don't know.
You're going to have to find stuff.
You're going to have to play the game to find out.
Toes the line.
Who said this, Hitler or Himmler?
I was watching some old footage from back then, and it was a thing that showed Himmler's body. Like, spoiler alert, he's dead.
What?
It was showing a video of his body, and the news anchor guy was like that real old-timey news thing. It's like, the most evil man in the world, Himmler, died, blah, blah, blah. It's like, too bad somebody didn't kill him when he was a baby.
Yeah. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, he's like, it's a pity no one killed him when he was a baby.
Oh, that's excellent news reporting. I
Like
like
that.
that.
Just not holding back.
Today in history.
That's exactly what he sounded like.
Heinrich Himmler, the famous Nazi, should have killed him in his mother's womb and saved us the trouble.
He's reporting the news like he's like, I'm going to slide in my opinion right here.
I love it. It's great.
Himmler didn't just carefully choose the SS members. He also had strict rules for who they could marry. The women marrying SS members had to meet certain standards of looks, health, the ability to have children. Himmler even required medical checks to confirm that they could have kids. If a woman wasn't initially seen as capable, she would receive hormone treatments paid for by the SS.
Your eggs are not good enough for the SS man.
Just quick peek behind the curtain before you jump ahead. I feel like absolute dog shit today while we're recording. I'm trying to be a good boy and drink kombucha. And I was drinking it and I didn't realize what flavor I had, and it was a little tangy. And like halfway through, wasn't thinking anything of it. I was like, oh, fuck. I wonder if this is expired. Fortunately, it's not. But that was a close call because I'm not sure what that would have done to my stomach.
It's already fermented, right? What's a little it's a little past the expiration date can harm.
It gets a little foamy, maybe, that's all. Alas, we're okay for a few more months. I did have one in the fridge that I had left in here from a while ago that was expired. So I threw that one away to avoid any further issues.
Appreciate you. Keep calm and carry on.
As you were.
In 1933, the Nazis began a systematic campaign to collect precious artifacts from around the world. They set up special government units dedicated to finding and taking valuable items, with a particular focus on Jewish art and items from prominent European families like the Rothschilds. Some of these items were meant for Hitler's planned but never built Führer Museum. Others went to top Nazis or were sold to support Nazi activities.
Führer Museum. They took so much stuff. And didn't the U.S. Army set up an art retrieval squad later on, right?
They
to
made
go
a
around
movie
and find
about that,
those,
didn't they?
With Clooney and Matt Damon.
That's Ocean's 11, pal. They stole money there. They were the bad guys in that one. Kind
I
of.
think they were both in that one. I know Matt Damon was.
Yeah. You might be right. I don't know.
That year also marked Himmler looking for a special place for his SS.
We only want to be loved. Where can we go?
He wasn't just after historical objects. He wanted a place that could be like the heart of the SS. He envisioned a place that honored both real and mythical German history, and this led him to the Weiselberg Castle, otherwise known as the Nazi Temple of Doom. This castle's for real. It's all a shoot. It's pretty wild. You know, Himmler, he set up his own concentration camp outside of the castle to do all these renovations.
For labor?
Mm-hmm. He had his own little mini one.
He's fucking good.
This castle is located in a forest in Westphalia, Germany, and was built around 1600. Himmler knew that it had a dark history of women being accused of witchcraft that were tortured and burned there, which was one of the reasons that he was into getting this castle. In 1936, Himmler revealed his plans to turn the castle into the central base and mystical site for the SS, and he described it as the, quote, center of the world. He wasn't just coming up with all this stuff on his own. Himmler had a personal occultist, Karl Maria Willigut, and he's really the one behind this castle. He's kind of, they call him Himmler's Rasputin.
No,
he's like the advisor. He's the occult advisor to Himmler.
Why don't I have a personal occultist? I would be interested in having such a person.
I was going to ask you the same thing. I didn't know why you didn't have one.
How does one obtain such a trusted advisor?
How does one have so much power and say over human life when you have a personal occultist giving you these ideas?
Exactly.
Would they have to be a master of occultism?
I think they probably would.
That makes sense. If they're not, you can send them to that online school and they can get their their masters.
Go get your
Different kind.
I only accept degreed occultists, so go back and get your schooling and then come and talk to me. But you're right. This guy should be, the proverbial, he shouldn't even be a dog catcher, yet he's, in charge of slaughtering and, defies logic. It boggles the mind.
Willigut's a pretty wild guy. We're going to see in a little bit. He turns out to be schizophrenic. But he claimed to be...
What? That doesn't make any sense.
He claimed to be from a long line of Germanic mystical teachers dating back to prehistoric times. He also said that he had special abilities that let him remember his ancestors' experiences from thousands of years ago.
It's like the guy in Mobile. He came from a long line of 1,000 leprechaun hunters with his whistle, right?
That's exactly
Warding
right.
off spells.
And he wasn't lying.
He was absolutely not lying. He was on the news. They don't lie.
Nope.
He might be related to this guy.
He had all the tools they needed, too. It's just so convenient that leprechaun was right there. All the places.
Could have been anywhere, but
Nope. Right there.
Passed down from generation.
Generation to generation.
He'd been waiting his whole life for this moment.
Could you imagine that? Like if that dude really had this Irish whistle, he's like, oh shit, this is my chance.
I've been waiting my whole fucking life. Finally, the leprechauns in Alabama.
Every morning.
I can spring to attention and act.
Eating his Lucky Charms every morning, just waiting for that day.
Since around 1908, Willigut was involved in occult groups in Vienna. He believed that the Bible was originally written in a Germanic language and followed a religion called Urmanism. According to him, this religion worshipped a Germanic god named Christ, so K-R-I-S-T, who later became the Christian Savior Christ. Willigut said that Germanic history started around 228,000 BC when Earth had 3 suns and was home to giants, dwarves, and other mystical beings. A lot of ice giants, a lot of talk of that, too.
Of course, yeah. That fits the narrative.
I can get down with that.
Ice giants?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing an ice giant.
I would want to get stepped on, but...
I'll see him from a distance.
Yeah.
By 12,500 BC, the religion of Christ was revealed and became the main belief of all Germanic people until followers of Wotan took over. According to Villigut, in 1200 BC, Wotan worshippers destroyed the main center of the Germanic religion, and we need to get this religion back to its full power. His is just another crazy way of saying, I want to go back to that simpler times where Aryans were.
Yeah, he's just embellishing it a bit more.
Add in that stuff about 3 sons and stuff.
Sure. They're like, well, Heinrich didn't convince me, but if you had 3 sons and dwarfs back then, and let's go back.
So
that sounds awesome.
Villigut is the one who introduced Himmler to the castle and convinced him to make it the center of these occult plans. The area was tied to the legend of the battle at the Birch Tree, a prophecy about a huge Eastern army defeated by the West. Villigut and Himmler believed that the castle would play a key role in a conflict like that, which they thought would be between Asia and Europe, with Germany leading the Western victory. The region also had historical significance for Himmler because of a German leader who defeated the Romans in 9 CE. This battle was a pivotal moment for German history, marking the end of the Roman expansion into German territory. There's always, everything has to have some type of a tie to, a reason for everything.
That's how you make people believe it, right?
Not too long after the castle was finished, turns out that Karl Villigut was a schizophrenic. He got himself thrown into a mental facility, and it was a big embarrassment for Himmler.
And here he thought he was talking to the gods.
Well, Himmler, it didn't stop Himmler from all the occultism, but I think it seemed like he believed Villigut. It was just the fact of he was labeled as being...
You can't be associated with that. It's
right.
not perfect.
Yeah. So in 1934, Himmler took out a 100-year lease on the castle and turned it into a place that resembled a Nazi version of King Arthur's Camelot. He added an SS court of honor and a room with stone walls and a round table made of oak where the 12 top members of the SS would meet. The castle was known locally as Valhalla, and many of the rooms were named after mystical and historical figures like Grail, King Arthur, Aryan, Henry the Lion, and Teutonic Order. Under the North Tower, Himmler also built a special underground room for rituals. This circular chamber had 12 seats against a wall under a dome shaped like a beehive. The ceiling in the middle had a swastika mark. Himmler said that this chamber was inspired by the ancient Greek beehive tombs found near Arcadia. It's super crazy looking.
I mean, sure it is. The castle's still there?
Mm-hmm. The room that we were just talking about too, like that's all still there. The big swastika, but it has 12. It's like, I think they called it the dark sun, but that's in the middle of the floor as well. It has a Holocaust memorial stuff in there now, but it's still there.
That's good.
I'm trying to look up a picture of it now.
But you definitely get where the Temple of Doom comes from, because it's nothing but this kind of mystical and the runes written on things and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And with that North Tower is where a lot of the crazy stuff is at.
Okay.
Mike, that's where they used to pound my Tula in that room. They ran a train on me. Heinrich and the boys.
She 100% was alive through all of this, that I'm sure of.
I was born in 1915.
Oh, so it's just like a straight up triangle shape.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what he was really doing in there?
I do.
Like the type of rituals he was doing. I mean, clearly he was doing something. You don't just build that stuff for just to do it. But there's rumors of him like doing a lot of sex magic stuff, like using sexual energy to try and manifest things. A lot of stuff with the Vril energy. Remember we talked about the Vril last week? A lot of that, like using sex magic and things like that to unlock and access the Vril.
Well, in literal terms, what does that mean?
The easiest way to explain sex magic is to make a sigil and then have sex looking at that sigil the whole time.
Okay.
And then taking all the fluids, putting it on the sigil, and then it goes from there, whatever. That's the easiest version of it.
Yeah. I was only familiar with blood sugar sex magic, how the Red Hot Chili Peppers would do it. And then you had the actual jizz on the sigil.
Yeah.
So this is not the same thing.
I might be. I don't think so. That's a good song, though, Jizz on the Sigil.
I don't know if I'm sure I've heard it.
The rumor is that he would get like the most perfect Aryan looking SS member and the most perfect Aryan looking woman, have them fuck to get all that powerful sex energy, open up the vril. He's probably just wanting to be cucked in the corner.
Yeah, he's jerking off in the corner. That's what I was going to say. He's a nerd.
But imagine having that much power to be able to do these types of things.
Do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. Hitler's in the bunker going nuts. This guy's running everything.
In the summer of 1935, Himmler established a research group called the NNRB. This organization was described as a, quote, study society for intellectual ancient history. It was focused on celebrating German history and achievements. Its goal was to investigate the origins and history of what Himmler considered to be an Aryan race and to demonstrate that ancient Nordic people were once dominant worldwide. This group allowed Himmler to pursue myths and legends about ancient Germanic lore across the globe in places like Tibet, China, Japan, Iceland, South America. We talked about the Hollow Earth episode, how they went to the Antarctica.
Yeah.
Doing an expedition where they allegedly have like a pyramid. We'll talk about that next week. They have like the pyramid that they allegedly built there. I think that Hitler, I mean, he did do this. This is real stuff that Himmler was up to and doing. I think Hitler kind of was like, maybe like, all right, well, as long as you're killing Jews, do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to go look for the Hollow Earth, I don't care. Just
make sure this gets done too.
Yeah.
Ugh, Jesus. And Himmler's like, I guess I'll kill some Jews if it lets me do this. Like, it's both trading off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hitler's like, I'm not expensing that, though. Don't turn in any receipts for this trip. That's on your own time, pal.
Not being reimbursed for Antarctica, you fuck boy.
Yeah.
There's stories of guys from this group faking Aryan artifacts to make Himmler happy, like reporting back with just fake shit to support the
everything's.
Like, oh yeah, we found a fossil.
This guy's supposed to be so smart, and they're just fucking working him the whole time.
The most famous occult aspect of Himmler and the SS are the death's head rings. The design of the ring was created by Villegut. It has a sig rune positioned on either side of the skull with a triangle. They symbolize the sun's power in conquering energy. The Hoggle rune, enclosed in a hexagon, this rune represented faith, camaraderie, values regarded by the SS. Its esoteric interpretation, as per Guido von List, was about encompassing and controlling the universe. The swastika was set in a square, standing on a vertex. And then there's double runes on the back, encircled. These were modern creations by the SS. They weren't traditional runes. So I was telling you earlier, we were talking about like everybody's a master and just makes their own runes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what these ones were. And then they were worked together to spell Gott, which was God in German. Initially, the ring was given to senior officers of the Old Guard, consisting of less than 5,000 members. Each ring was personalized with the recipient's name, the date it was awarded, and Himmler's signature inside. It came with a standard letter from Himmler and a formal note. Recipients were instructed to wear the ring on their left hand's ring finger. If an SS member left or was removed from service, the ring had to be returned.
Where do I wear my wedding ring with my beautiful Aryan bride then, if this goes on my left ring finger?
I think you're just married to Himmler.
Just the way he wants it, I'm sure.
In 1938, Himmler ordered that the rings from dead SS men and officers be returned and kept in a chest at the castle as a symbol of their continued affiliation with the SS. By October 1944, Himmler stopped making and awarding these rings. Shit was kind of getting serious for Himmler at that point.
Maybe I have other stuff to do.
He then directed that all remaining rings, around 11,500, be sealed inside a hill near the castle, which that's true. And there's all kind of rumors about that, like what else was sealed along with those rings. And
They ever find them? Mm-mm. Really?
Nope. They're still out there.
Just like Jason, still out there.
One day he'll come back.
Maybe he's in there. Maybe he got sealed up by accident.
Maybe so.
Jason did?
Yeah. Whatever the next Jason is, like a time travel one. He's going to end up back in Germany in the 1940s, and they're going to end up sealing him up, and then that's going to just change everything, the whole timeline.
Jason versus the SS. He just goes through and slaughters all those Nazi fucks.
Jason's big baby face turn.
Be awesome.
It's time.
Redemption.
It's been, what, 40 years, 30 years? It's time for a baby face run.
I'd watch that movie.
Like almost 45 years. 1980.
All right. Yeah, he's due.
He's due for sure.
By the late 1930s, Himmler had become one of the most influential people in the Nazi government. He was second to only Hitler. He led the Gestapo, the secret police. They were, their authority was above any courts, regular police, the SS, and the SD, security service, making him pretty much untouchable. But Himmler's goal wasn't just to have power. He wanted to use it to make Germany return to that simpler time that we've been talking about, but with an emphasis on people farming. He encouraged soldiers to plant trees and create nature reserves. Through Himmler, the Nazis supported vegetarian diets, natural remedies, and animal protection laws. Himmler aimed to move people from cities back to the countryside. In 1931, he started the SS Race and Resettlement Office, led by Richard Walter Dare. The government encouraged city workers to go back to farming, offering free land, and prevented small farmers from selling their land to keep them farming.
Maybe I don't want to farm anymore.
Yeah.
Heinrich.
You have to. All because Heinrich went to agricultural school.
Right.
Yeah, and dropped out. It's pretty incredible. This Dare guy then went on years later to create an anti-drug program for kids.
I know.
I think it didn't work, that program.
Well, he is a loser, so.
Germany needed more land for all these people, which led to the idea of living spaces. The Nazis' plan was to take this needed land from Poland and transform it for German use. Himmler also focused on ethnic Germans living across Europe. He wanted to bring them together into a larger German empire. His plan involved resettling these ethnic Germans into new territories in the East, previously home to the Slavic people. So essentially, to get his master plan of getting back to that old time, the Volkish movement, everybody just needs to become a farmer.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take that from
And all the
Poland
Slavic people and the Jews all have to go somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Heaven, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then we'll just take all the land.
Oof.
To start this plan, Himmler offered 500,000 Germans new homes in areas taken over by the Nazis. His office checked their backgrounds and gave them land. Himmler wanted to save any people in Poland who might be of German descent. They used, we talked about this earlier a couple times, they used measurements like the distance between eyes or the size of someone's head to decide if someone was German or not, or if they had more German genes than Polish genes.
They made the call. They're like, hey, go dust off our headspace rulers. Get them out. We need to measure some eyeball distance.
I have a giant head. That makes me Polish, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know. What were their specifications, I wonder?
I don't know.
Like what was the eye space that they were looking for? What was ideal?
One of the things that the SS did at this time in this situation was they were taking Polish children who looked German away from their families. There was about 200,000 of these kids that were given to German families in Poland for what they called re-Germanization. Children who didn't fit these looks were sterilized or killed.
Really doesn't go with the program, right? It's still ultimately Polish blood that they're going to be breeding down the line. It's just a lie. It's a scam.
They were obsessed with kids. They really, kids are the future.
Yeah, you see all those fucking Hitler Youths running around back then.
A lot of children's programs and stuff. This is where like the Holocaust starts kicking off in Poland. The Nazi plan was to completely get rid of Jewish people. At first, Jews in Germany had their property taken away, and many had to flee to other countries. The SS started to force Jews out of their homes, attack them, and put them in crowded ghettos. When ghettos got full, people were sent to concentration camps. These camps were for anyone the Nazis saw as enemies: Jews, political opponents, homosexuals. The SS managed a huge system of camps. It was eventually around 20,000 across Nazi-controlled Europe. For Himmler, these camps were a way to achieve his ideas of making the human race pure. The SS set up its own courts so they could do what they wanted without any outside questions, making them able to kill freely. And this is where Himmler created a special task force, the Einsatzgruppen. The Einsatzgruppen's mission was straightforward and horrifying. They were just to commit straight up murder. This special SS group followed the German army into Eastern Europe, starting with Poland and then the Soviet Union. Their main objective was to kill Jews along with Soviet political figures, Soviet civilians, Romani people, and those deemed mentally ill or developmentally disabled.
That's gypsies, Romani, I believe.
Reinhard Heydrich was known for being ruthless, and he was put in charge of these death squads by Himmler. Heydrich was an educated man, like many of the people in the Einsatzgruppen. They were educated professionals like doctors, lawyers, and teachers. They saw this task of mass murder as scientifically and morally justified, and they explained it that way to the SS soldiers that were carrying out the murders. There's a famous picture of a Nazi lawyer, Bruno Müller, demonstrating to these units how to carry out these murders by shooting a woman and her child. His unit went on to kill 24,000 Jews in just 3 days. But being the coward that Himmler was, he couldn't handle witnessing what he was having the SS carry out. When Himmler visited one of the massacres, he was shocked and threw up, having never seen a dead body before.
It's fucking clown.
He also noticed the scale of killing was affecting the mental health of the SS soldiers. Himmler decided that a more efficient, less personal method was needed. The Nazis had already been using carbon monoxide from car exhausts for gassing groups of people. This method was to be further developed, involving chemical factories that had experience with creating gases used in World War I. Himmler's plan led to the construction of extermination camps starting on October 13th, 1941. His orders were to round up Jewish populations from Eastern Europe, transport them by train to these death camps, and eventually extend this to Jews in Western Europe. Himmler focused on a particularly large camp that already housed a chemical factory, and in 1942, he transformed it into Auschwitz. In Auschwitz-Birkenau, Himmler ordered the construction of 8 massive gas chambers and 46 ovens. Thousands of people were murdered in these chambers regularly, and Himmler was the sole driving force behind all of this. In July of 1942, Himmler visited Auschwitz and was shown the efficient operation of the gas chambers, which he was very happy with. And this tour was filmed, and you can see how thrilled he was with all of it. Just like, has his hands behind his back, walking all
proud. Yeah. I just watched that Zone of Interest movie that was the Best Picture nominee. It was about the commandant of Auschwitz and just like about him and his family in their house next door to the camp, just living their normal, mundane, everyday life. And they didn't show anything that happened in the camp, but you just hear the sounds and stuff. It's something, man, just to think about.
As the war turned against the Nazis, resources that could have helped their war efforts were diverted to continue the Holocaust.
They weren't the brightest.
No.
And Hitler didn't have the best war plans. He was not great.
When he realized that this was all coming to an end, he tried to use the concentration camp prisoners as bargaining chips. He even stopped the Holocaust briefly and released some of the prisoners in a desperate attempt to save himself, but nobody was buying it. As allies got closer, Himmler tried to disguise himself and flee. He was using a different name. He stands out. You know, everybody knows what he looks like.
Was that fucking virgin dweeb asshole?
British forces captured him pretty quick. Before he could be interrogated, Himmler took his own life using a hidden cyanide capsule before he could even answer a single question, ending his life as probably the most evil and dangerous person to ever exist. At least in the top 3, top 5.
You can make that case, sure.
Who was the we had someone we talked about had a cyanide pill hidden. Like
Fucking Leonard Lake.
Leonard Lake.
He probably got it from Himmler.
Yeah.
He was big into dumb shit.
Was that when he was arrested in the hardware store and Ing was just like, nope, back in my car.
Yeah.
Just gonna turn around, get on out of here.
He fucking left the car. He just went on foot.
A lot of these Nazis had cyanide capsules, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of them did that.
Because you know what you're doing is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
You know that the rest of the civilized world's not going to deal with this.
Yeah, you stand no chance. If you lose, that's it.
Yeah, they thought they were going to win or force a treaty, and they would never have to answer to anyone for this shit. Mm-hmm. Nope. They should have killed them all. They should have dropped 10 more nuclear bombs on Germany and killed all of them.
I don't think they had the capacity to just yet.
No, they didn't.
Quit too quick. They gave up.
Need some extra bombs.
They should have hustled a little harder. Got them done earlier.
Oppenheimer.
Moron.
Some more goddamn bombs. We got some fucking Germans to kill.
On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker in Berlin as Allied forces closed in, marking the end of his life and the imminent fall of the Nazi regime. Or did he? Because there's a lot of people that believe that all these rituals and the LARPing that we've been talking about actually revealed the Vril energy and that there was an alien aspect to the Aryan mythology that was tapped into by a woman named Maria Orsic. And that's where we'll pick back up next week.
I've been hearing that name, Maria Orsic, for like 5 years. Finally get to learn a little bit about her.
What are you saying? Mind blown.
It's quite a teaser for next week.
Yeah, next week will be all the fun.
Fourth and final part.
Yes. And it'll be all the, quote unquote, fun conspiracies.
Well, we could use that because it's a little heavy episode.
And look, we know it's not an exhaustive look at, the Nazis during World War II. So.
No.
It's not supposed to be.
It's just the occultism.
Yeah, you don't have to let us know about these things we left now.
Yeah. This isn't History Corner with Ian. No. This is Occult Corner with Ian.
Mm-hmm. And there's a ton more out there. I mean, there's like three or four solid books written about this. Mm. The one I read is in the middle. The Nicholas Goodrick Clark one is in the middle between like fantastical conspiracies and what we accept as, what is accepted history.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the book? People always like to know what you use.
The Occult Roots of Nazism.
By who again?
Nicholas Goodrick Clark.
It's interesting, thinking about this. You grew up learning about history and all these things the Nazis did and whatnot. But it's interesting to hear about some of these backstories and put, I don't know, maybe a little bit of the causality behind how they got to where they got.
Yeah, because you never learn about that.
Never, no.
Teaches you that stuff.
Not causality, that's the wrong word, but just, what might have been in their mind as they were forming all these fucking wacky ideas.
All right. Anything else you found on your research, Ian, or anything else we need to touch on?
No. I think we're good. I'm excited to talk about stuff next week.
Next week sounds like it would be fun. Kind of get to like all the stuff we've always mentioned on here about like the wild stuff.
Yeah, get into some UFOs. Talk a lot about the Spear of Destiny. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Spear of Destiny?
Not really. That's what pierced Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
I thought it was when Goldberg hit Hulk with that spear and then won the world title back in 1998.
You might be technically correct, but in this context,
Rumor has it Hitler really wanted that Spear of Destiny.
I bet he did. Punk.
Well, more on that next week.
Wait a minute. I thought the Germans actually wrote the Bible and none of that was even real. Come on.
Wait a minute,
Make up your
pal.
fucking mind, nerds.
That was Carl Villagut. He was also schizophrenic.
Well, yeah.
He was just doing his own thing.
All right, Dave, what do you got for us?
Thank you to new patrons. Anita Ween Earring.
I get it.
You get that one?
No.
I need a wienering.
Oh, Wienering. Wienering. I got it now. Anita Wienering. I try so hard sometimes. You can't see the forest through the trees.
I get it. You were reading it. Sometimes you just have to hear it. You just have to hear it.
That's right. Jim Beans, JB Bartlett, Douglas Meats, the notorious GIMP, Sonia Alves, Sit With, Connor Faint, Alyssa Mize, Emily Kahn, Riley Audit, Jersey Devil Scuba, Mark Mason, Gingivitis 440, Ellie May. She needs a hard Dickens cider. I got that one.
I've seen those commercials.
Dickens cider.
Yeah.
KB, Kellick, Gary Miller, Brittany Scott, Shelley Troxel, Sam Gardner, Caitlin Payton, Dimitri, Amanda Olson, Jennifer Donaldson. I don't need no sushi on a Barbie doll to lick them toes.
What is that?
Does it have any context to anything we said?
I don't know. John Mickle, Mallory Hall, Asiatic Young, Slut for True Crime, Deanna Kuykendall, Lydia, Fishcake 1989, Stephanie Garcia, Melissa Coral, Noah Geis, Dakota Collins, Scrotumus, Conjurer of Cum, Jesus Lead Me to the Clit, OMG Wrong Hole, Ashley, Nikki Gunn, D. McCord, Josie, Firefighter 059, Megan Haynes, Paco says, let's see how you pronounce that. I'm going to go with Paco.
All right.
Emily, and Hope Vanderstelt. Thank you, new patrons.
Ian.
For iTunes, I went for James West. James West asked if we have any opinions on outages from cell phone companies like AT&T and T-Mobile. Do not have any thoughts on that. I don't know what's been going on with
There was
that.
a big AT&T outage a couple weeks ago. I think it was AT&T.
I just know Verizon isn't great.
Not out here. It's not. No.
No, it's
Is
terrible.
there supposed to be conspiracies involved with that?
I don't know.
Like, it's just, why are you asking what we think? No.
There was just the cell network outage. I know that Verizon is very expensive, and I land in the middle of major metropolitan areas, and I do not have a fucking signal, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it happens at times.
Yeah. My music buffers when it definitely shouldn't.
Terrible. It's just terrible. It used to be good. It's awful now.
Yeah, it used to be one of the best.
Yeah. I lose signal all the time. But switching just seems like so much work. I'm like,
No, yeah, I'm not switching to
Can't.
anything. I'm not doing all that.
I'll just complain.
Did you have more?
Yeah. Eon Flux 242, Nikki G 316, Boom Toasted, Catania, Brianna Santiago 20, UCM Tex Cowboy and Booty from Cincy. Thank you guys.
Booty hole or just booty?
Just Booty.
Okay.
Booty from Cincy.
Just making sure.
I think we're safe. That one. Anything else, Dave?
I had a couple international ones.
All right.
NJHJJJJ from Great Britain. La Lick, LAA Lick from Canada. And Phantasmal from Ireland.
All right.
Probably drunk.
Does sound like it was slurring. Just the name.
Phantasmal. That might have been me slurring. So I've been drinking all day though. March Madness.
Yeah, I've been smoking weed off and on since noon.
I do have one more public service announcement. If you use Google Podcast, don't forget that's coming to an end on April 2nd here. I know they've sent out tons of notices, but if you haven't paid attention to them all, you got to find yourself a new podcast player on 4.2 or by 4.2.
Good thing we're available on all of them.
All of them. You don't want to miss this, so don't get left out in the cold. God, I don't even know what you would do then. You'd be hard times ahead if you couldn't listen to the show.
All right, everyone good?
I'm okay. Yeah, I guess.
We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Necronomipod, patreon.com/Necronomipod, amazon.com, search Necronomipod for all of our merch, and necronomipod.com.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.